Alright, this is going to be a short rant. And it's part of the reasons why I hate technology. Now, I'm a computer science major. And my life is technology. I mean, this is just one of my, I would say 7 desktops. I build desktops for fun. I have several embedded boards. I mean, come on, things like Raspberry Pis. I have at least 5 of these. You know, my camera's sitting on 2 hard drives right now and a stack of DVDs to prop it up. I got a pile of, I have 6 1TB hard drives sitting on top of there. You know, like, technology is my life. But I hate it for a lot of reasons. And here's one of them. The king of all personal technology. The cell phone. Right? I have one. You probably have one too. I have a OnePlus One. Really like it. But when it comes to society and social interactions, the phone cripples us. And I'll explain why. When you walk down the street, let's say you're at the gym. Let's say you see people at the gym, you see people at the park, you see people at Starbucks, you see people just out and about doing their day. What are 90% of them doing? Looking at their phones. That's all they're doing. They're just looking at their phones. Even if they're with someone, they're looking at their phones. And it drives me nuts because, I mean, when I was raised and introduced to basic social interactions, there was a level of kind of respect you gave somebody when you were interacting with them. So if you went out to dinner with a couple mates or a cute girl or something, when you sat there at dinner, you didn't pull out your, oh shit, I don't have it out anymore, your Game Boy or your PSP or anything, or your cell phone. You didn't sit there and play with it while you were interacting with this person, because the whole reason you got together in the same physical location is so that you can interact socially. And so to not do that during the few moments you have to do this was basically, it was considered rude. It was considered disrespectful to the other people. But in the culture we've developed today, where we have everyone's got a phone from the day they're born and old enough to talk or walk on their own, I don't know, I'm not a parent, but I've seen a lot of really young kids with cell phones. And they grow up and everyone spends all day looking at these damn things. I mean, like, right now my computer's off. That's for other reasons. I'm working on some projects, but like, I'm trying to be productive today. I dropped something. Don't worry about it. And we're so used to this kind of Internet of Things and continuous pings of information. You know, you can call someone at any time. You can text someone at any time. You can email someone at any time. At any point in time, anybody you know could be pinging you back with Facebook messages, text messages, you know, phone calls, email. I mean, no one uses email anymore. Not that I know of. I still try and use email. You know, your boss, your friends, your family, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, grandpa, you know, they're all connecting through this technology, and everyone's grown so accustomed to it that they forget how to stop. And I will tell you a perfect example. The last relationship I was in, if there was any point in the conversation where she wasn't talking for more than 5 minutes, she was looking at her phone. And it was like, you know, in the middle of dinner, we'd be sitting down, we'd be at a restaurant, we'd be chatting, and then she'd ask me to talk about something that, you know, I'd done that day, so I was explaining it to her, and then, like, you know, 5 minutes into the explanation, she's looking at her phone. And I'm just like, what? And she looked up and she goes, I'm listening. It's like, but you might be listening, but you're not paying attention. I mean, what am I, chopped liver? What the hell? And it's like, what are you even doing on there? It's like, oh, I'm posting a picture of my meal on the Instagram and the Tumblr. It's like, but what? That can wait. Yeah, but if I don't do it now, I'll forget. Who the fuck cares? If you forget to post your meal to Tumblr and Instagram, People have become so obsessed with this sharing of everything in the moment that no one actually enjoys the moments anymore. You can't go to a park and just enjoy the day without taking pictures to then share with people at that moment, saying, look what I'm doing right now, which then takes away from being there and enjoying it. Because you get this little satisfaction of knowing that everyone that you know now knows that you're at the park enjoying your day. When in fact you're not at the park enjoying your day, you're at the park showing people how much of a day you could be enjoying if you were actually there enjoying it. I know it doesn't quite make sense, but you'll get it eventually. And so there's something my parents did when I was growing up, and I never quite understood. I thought it was just them being mean. Every Sunday, and we're not religious. My parents tried to indoctrinate us into whatever religious beliefs they thought was appropriate, and me and my brothers kind of went, no, sorry. My parents were like, all right, whatever you want. Was every Sunday was no electronics. No TV, no video games, no phones, no nothing. Nothing. The only electricity used in the house was for lights and the toaster. Yeah, lights and toaster. That was it. So, if you want to play a game, there's some board games in the closet. You want to go talk to your friend? Go walk to his house. He doesn't live that far. He's only like a half mile away. You could skateboard over there in 15 minutes. You know, things like that. And so, I grew up with, like on a Sunday, if I wanted to go see my buddy, like Daniel, I'd walk, the 5 blocks to his house, knock on his door and go, hi, Mr. Daniel's parents, is Daniel in? They're like, yeah, he's over here playing video games. And I'm like, hey, he wants to go play basketball? We'll go to the park and shoot hoops. We'll be outside. We'll be engaging without anything distracting us from actually enjoying each other's company. And so it's almost like become a pet peeve now, because I'm now counting as I walk through my day, especially on campus, at school. When I walk through my day, I go around and I count. And I count every single person who I see that's looking at an electronic device like an iPad, MP3 player, or their cell phone, or sometimes even walking with a laptop out or a tablet, whatever. And I count them. And the numbers are getting pretty bad. Over 90%. I mean, there are the occasion. I mean, I do have a kind of gray area where people basically have the earbuds in and they're playing with their player in their pocket, kind of a thing. It's not quite the same. But that still means it's well over 80% of everyone who's walking around campus don't even recognize the surroundings. They probably look up, right, around just enough to know where things are so that they don't walk into anything, which people need to pay more attention to, because I can't tell you how many times I see someone looking at their phone and just like, wham, walked right into like a wall. There's like, where the fuck the wall came from? The wall was always there. You're just an idiot. This infuriates me. We have a society growing up where all we do is stare at our phones. It's all we do. And then when you actually want to talk to somebody, they're like, why didn't you text me? Why didn't you message me over Facebook? I have a buddy, Pedro, who will randomly show up to my house. And people will be like, God, that's like creepy, dude. He just shows up to your house unannounced? What do you think people did before fucking cell phones? When you wanted to find somebody, you had to know them, and then know where they lived, and then when you didn't have anything to do, you might wander over to their house and inquire if they had nothing to do. And then you did something together. It's like how the world worked for thousands of years. And suddenly, in the past, I don't know, when did the first cell phone come out? 90... no, not 90, but like in the 60s? No, it was like 70s, 60s, 70s. Like in the past just 50 years alone, we have moved from an entire world where if you wanted to find out if someone was able to play, board games, you walked to their house and you asked them if they were home. And then if they weren't able to hang out and play board games, you'd say, well, what are you doing this Saturday? You know, me and the buds will be at, you know, at the corner game shop at noon. You know, meet us there if you want to play. We'll save you a seat. I'm like, oh yeah, sure, no problem. And then you'd meet up on noon on Saturday and play board games. And and then we got phones. And we're like, great, now we can just text you like, hey, can you want to meet up there? That's great, yeah. And then everything became attached to the phone. Like social media was invented, and emails were put on phones, and text messages put on phones, and not only that, you can call people, like what a phone's designed for. And now we no longer have this need to go out and find people, because you don't need to find them anymore, because everyone's got one of these. And then that created a problem, where all you do is check this damn piece of technology all day, because you think, what if someone's messaged me? What if someone's emailed me? What if I missed a phone call? Did they leave a voicemail? I gotta listen to it, and I gotta listen to it now, because what if it's important? I guarantee it isn't. Unless that phone call says, from your boss, and a text message saying you're fired, or from your parents or your family that says like, oh my god, someone's dying. It literally doesn't matter if you look at it now or 2 hours from now. And if you know people who get mad because they sent you a text message and 3 hours later you haven't texted them back yet and give you shit for it, fuck them. Because you know what? The most rude thing in the world is calling someone and getting mad they didn't pick up. Because am I supposed to drop everything that I'm doing to answer your goddamn phone call? I don't think so. Unless you're the fucking president saying, I'm going to give you $1 million check. I don't care who you are. You know, if I'm on the shitter, I ain't answering my phone. If I'm in the shower, I'm not answering my phone. If I'm in the middle of cooking a meal and enjoying a nice cold beer and I don't feel like being distracted by things, and you call me, I'm going to let that shit go to voicemail. Because I'm doing my own shit right now. Fuck off. If you really have something important to say, leave me a voicemail, and when I have time, I'll get back to you. Alright? Like, that's how the world should work. This was designed to replace postal mail. Do you know, when you got letters, did you open them right away? Not always. They took time to get there. You got them, you're like, cool, I got a letter. You'd open it up, you know, maybe that night, and you'd read through your letters. You'd be like, oh, this is cool, this is funny, whatever. And then you go, okay, well, maybe tomorrow I'll write a letter back. And then you write a letter back, and you'd stick that in the mail, and then a week later end up at the other destination. And there was time differences. Then email became a thing. And then it was like bam, 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 bam. So everyone got really used to every day checking their email in the morning, checking their email at noon, checking it at night, and it became attached to their email. And then these fuckers came around, and now everyone knows that you have your email on your person and other things, Facebooks, you know, whatever social media, whatever messaging services you use, are on your person all the time, and the expectation that you'll get back to them has gone through the roof, and that's a problem. And so since everyone expects everybody to always be paying attention to their phone, to always be able to respond to everything, we're always stuck looking at our phones, because we think that if we don't get back in touch with someone when they reach out to us with an appropriate amount of time, which is like less than 10 minutes, then somehow we're being rude or we're ignoring them. And people don't like being ignored, right? No one likes to be ignored. But then when you have interactions where you're actually with people in person, you know, you plan out, you know, a board game night or a movie night or something, a drinking night, and you're sitting there, you know, having some beers at the bar, chatting and talking about your week, everyone's staring at their phone going, yeah, my week really fucking sucked. You know, your buddy's over there crying over a lost girl, and you're sitting there going, man, yeah, that really blows. Hey, you still on Facebook? It's just, it infuriates me so much. It's like, hold on, let's all get a group picture, you know, so I can post on Instagram. Hey, we're at the bar doing a Vine, whatever the heck it's called. Like, yeah, we're here at the bar, you know, making sure my buddy feels good by losing his girlfriend. And it's like, dude, be there for your friend. Like, actually be there and give him moral and emotional support. That's the whole reason why you're drinking at a bar in the first place. Not to sit there and then have more content for your social media. Life is nice. Life is great. Life is enjoyable and full of experiences. And social media is an entire platform based off of the creation of content from people's lives. And that's a fine concept. But when you go out into life and use all the moments of your life to create content for social media and just almost ignore the fact that you're there in the moment, you're a jackass. That's all I can say.